Welcome back to Hannity. At least 12 people are dead following a horrific terror attack against a satirical newspaper in Paris, France. Now, the attack, carried out by heavily armed, hooded gunmen, appears to have been in reaction to that paper's depiction of the Muslim prophet Muhammad. And radical London imam, a guy by the name of Imam Choudary, Anjem Choudary, took to Twitter after the slaughter, tweeting, quote, "Freedom of expression does not extend to insulting the prophets of Allah, whatever your views on the events in Paris today are." Hashtag Paris shooting. He also tweeted, "Muslims love the messenger Muhammad more than their parents, children, even themselves. Why don't people understand?" Here now to explain his comments is London Imam Anjem Choudary is with us. You sound like you basically support what happened today.
No, what I'm saying is that these things need to be put into context. We're talking about a French government who have banned the burqa. They refuse Muslims to build mosques now in Paris. They are engaged in occupation of Muslim land and even killing Muslims now in Syria and Iraq. And on top of that, they allow people to insult the Prophet.
You're justifying this. They went in and slaughtered a newspaper, a satirical newspaper that makes fun of the Pope and makes fun of Catholics and all religions and politicians and everybody. But you do have in France many no-go zones where non-Muslims are not allowed to go and police and fire departments are not allowed to go. And you do have Sharia courts in those areas. So your characterization is not exactly accurate about the treatment of Muslims in France.
No, I think that the political landscape in Europe has in fact shifted. As you know, many right-wing organizations are now allowed to espouse their own anti-Islamic ideas very openly. And in fact, we could have a government in places like France which are very anti-Islam and anti-Muslims.
Yeah, so what you're basically saying
is that,
so what you're basically saying is freedom of expression does not extend to insulting the prophets of Allah, whatever your views on what happened in Paris. So you're saying you do not believe in freedom of speech, you don't believe in freedom of religion, you don't believe in freedom of expression, you believe in Islamic fascism, that people must abide by your laws.
Actually, as a Muslim, we believe that sovereignty and supremacy belongs to God, and therefore we believe in submitting to the commands of God.
But you're demanding you're demanding everybody else submit to what you believe.
No,
and it should be illegal.
What we say is that
you said. You said freedom of expression.
What we say is that.
Go ahead.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Well, what we say is that freedom of expression has a responsibility by those people who espouse it in the West, in particular non-Muslims. But as you know, it is, changed, it is curtailed for things like incitement and hatred. And as you know, you have laws which allow, the curtailment of freedom of expression for your own national security.
So you're saying that I got what you're saying. So you're saying anything offensive about the Prophet Muhammad should be illegal, and you believe that should be worldwide. Every country should adopt that law.
Well, you need to understand that in Islam, this carries capital punishment. And we saw before with Theo Van Gogh and Salman Rushdie.
But you're not answering. You're saying that every country
should be aware about this already.
But every country should adopt that, and it's convert or die. It's either you agree with us, or we will go into your newspaper
we believe in divine
and we will slaughter you. We will put a fatwa out on you.
No, what we're saying is that a quarter of the world's population revere the messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and for them they'll prefer to die themselves than to allow anyone to insult the Prophet. Now, people in the West should understand that we live in a very unstable and insecure world today, which you can see very well now in Paris, what the consequences of insulting the Prophet are. And what we're saying is that the sensibilities and the emotions of Muslims must be taken into consideration in the context in which we live today.
Let me ask you quick questions and get answers. And I'm really holding my temper down because you really anger me, and I know you anger a lot of our audience. But I think this is important. You want worldwide a law to be in every country that you cannot criticize the Prophet. Is that accurate?
Well, we want the Sharia, and the Sharia says that this is completely prohibited.
Okay, and to you, this I want short answers. To you, this is the true Islam. This is Islam.
Well, of course,
no criticizing the Prophet.
Of course,
and those that are apostates that once were Muslim but convert to say Christianity, you believe that those people should die, right?
Well, I believe that if it is proven. And in a Sharia court, they are found guilty of apostating, then there does All right,
so apostates should, the penalty for apostatism is death, in your view, you're agreeing. And infidels,
well, this is correct, yes.
Non-Muslims, they should die as well, right? They must abide.
No, nobody said that. Nobody said that.
But the Quran says take neither Christians or Jews for your friends. The Quran says that.
The Christians and Jews can live side by side with the Muslims as they did in the heart of Europe for over 800 years in Andalusia.
Okay,
we're
but
not saying that the non-Muslims need to be killed.
What about jihad against infidels and holy war?
Well, jihad is either to defend the life, honor, and property of Muslims, which is called jihad dafa'i, defensive jihad, right, or it is to remove the obstacles in the way of implementing the Sharia outside of the frontiers of the Islamic State.
Let's talk about rights of women under Sharia, which you said you want worldwide. Should every woman, should they be mandated worldwide that they must cover themselves?
Well, we believe that either you abide by the criteria which is set out by God on how much you should cover your own body, or the people would decide for themselves according to their own whims and desires.
I want people to know what you think true Islam is.
It should be determined by divine law.
Okay, short answers. Yes, these are yes or no questions. So women should cover, yes, right? Okay, all women, men
and women should cover.
All right, no bikinis for anybody. No bikinis for anybody.
This is what we believe.
Okay, I got it. All right, adultery.
What they do in their home is one thing, but not in the public.
Not in the public. Got it. Adulterers, women that commit adultery, you're okay with them being stoned to death?
Men and women who commit adultery, for which there is sufficient evidence, for example, 4 eyewitnesses who saw the actual
but that's only for,
issue taking
that's
place,
only for men.
Will
that's
be,
only for
be
women.
Tried in a court. No, it's for both men and women.
So adultery, the penalty for adultery should be death.
For both men and the women who
and what
are
about gays and lesbians? Should they be killed as well?
Well, if someone likes someone of the same gender, it's one thing. But if they are committing the act of sodomy and there are witnesses, then that as well carries capital punishment.
Okay, and you're okay with comics and satirists and critics of Islam? For example, if somebody questions the age of Muhammad's wife, that they should be, what, the penalty for them should be death as well?
No, I mean, you can ask about the age of the wives of the Prophet. You can criticize Islam in that you can have a debate and discussion. But there's a difference between insulting the honor of the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For example, what this particular magazine did was portray him naked. And they portrayed him in different images like that, which is clearly insulting.
You're going to have to get over it. I'm a Catholic, and there was a picture, an artist in the Brooklyn Museum, elephant dung on the Virgin Mary. I didn't like it, but I didn't go in and shoot the people in the museum.
Yeah, but that's your way of life, though.
But you're saying this is,
Islam, this is not allowed.
I'm running out of time. You're saying this is true Islam, and you're also, on the other hand, you say this is a peaceful religion. How is it peaceful if you believe in killing all these people that you disagree with?
Islam does not mean peace, Sean. It means submission. Submission to the commands of God.
Okay, so you want
if
the worldwide
with
submission.
me, then we can live peacefully together. We can live peacefully together. But when
if we submit to your will and we're your slave, then
as you always CIA admit, that's not peace, is it?
So you want Islamofascism.
When you start to murder Muslims, obviously they will react one day.
Yeah, so you basically want Islamofascism. You want to control everybody. Everybody must agree with you.
We want Islam.
You don't.
There's nothing called
Islamofascism. Right, I'm not disagreeing with you. I just want to make sure you don't call it that. But ostensibly, when you take away everybody's freedom of choice and demand that they think like you do and practice the way you do, you have taken away all freedom of thought. All right, last question.
But we're not calling for that, though, are we, Sean? I mean, you can become, a Muslim if you wish. You can remain a Christian or a Jew. You can live under the Sharia. This is what we're saying. We're talking about people who are insulting the Prophet. We're talking about occupation of Muslim land.
Convert or die, basically. Sorry? Convert
No, they can convert to Islam, or they can live as dhimmis, which is the non-Muslim living under the Sharia, and their life and wealth will be protected.
It's the same thing. If you live under the Sharia, if you have to follow your laws or die.
Of course, that would be the law of the land. That would be the law of the land. I mean, in America, you want people to abide by the law in America. So under the Sharia, you will abide by Sharia law.
All right. Anjem Choudary, I still think you're an evil SOB, but I really want people to hear you.
I think you need to look in the mirror, Sean.
I don't think you think I'm evil. I think you're evil. I don't want to impose my will and my values, and I don't want to kill people that I disagree with. And I don't support what happened. No, I haven't killed anybody.
You want to dictate to me.
But I will say this is a wake-up call.
You don't want to listen. You don't want to listen to
No, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm not going to practice your religion, and I don't agree with your views on religion, and I will practice my faith in my free way, and I'll also be free to criticize you,
the way that
even though you don't like it.
Practice, and the way the CIA admit they torture people.
Yeah,
what's the justification for that, by the way, Sean?
The 3 people got waterboarded, and you know what? They all deserved it. But I got to go. Thank you for being with us. Appreciate it.